What if the key to deeper relationships isn't more communication techniques or romantic gestures, but a philosophy developed by ancient warriors and emperors? Most people think Stoicism creates emotional distance in relationships. They're completely wrong. The Stoics built some of the most profound connections in history, and their principles can transform how you relate to everyone in your life. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Book 6, Section 54 of Meditations, "We were born to work together like feet, like hands, like eyelids, like the rows of upper and lower teeth." Connection isn't optional in Stoic philosophy. It's fundamental to being human. Today I'm revealing how Stoic principles create relationships that last, showing you exactly why most relationships fail, and giving you practical tools to build deeper connections starting tonight. Whether you're struggling with a partner, family member, friend, or colleague, this video changes how you approach every relationship in your life. Before we dive in, think about your most challenging relationship right now. Keep that person in mind, because everything I share applies directly to them. Let's start by destroying the myth that Stoicism creates cold, distant relationships. This misconception comes from confusing Stoicism with being stoic, emotionally shut down and unavailable. Nothing could be further from the truth. The ancient Stoics valued relationships deeply. Seneca maintained profound friendships through hundreds of letters filled with vulnerability, advice, and genuine care. Marcus Aurelius dedicated the entire first book of his Meditations to expressing gratitude for the people who shaped him. His grandfather's character, his mother's piety, his teacher's wisdom, his wife's love. Epictetus taught that humans are fundamentally social creatures designed for connection. In Book 2, Section 1 of Meditations, Marcus Aurelius wrote about waking up irritable and not wanting to face people, then reminding himself, "We were born to work together." He didn't pretend relationships were easy. He acknowledged difficulty while recommitting to connection anyway. This is what makes Stoic relationships deeper than surface-level interactions. They're built on principle, not just feeling. Now let's examine why most relationships fail through a Stoic lens. The first reason is attempting to control others. Most relationship conflicts stem from one fundamental error: trying to control what you cannot control. You cannot control your partner's mood, your friend's choices, your parents' opinions, or your colleague's behavior, yet we exhaust ourselves trying. We manipulate, argue, guilt trip, and pressure people to change, then feel frustrated when they resist. Epictetus taught, some things are within our power, while others are not. Other people's actions fall firmly outside your control. When you internalize this truth, relationship dynamics shift dramatically. Instead of trying to change your partner, you change your response to them. Instead of demanding different behavior, you decide how you'll act regardless of their choices. This isn't passive acceptance of mistreatment. It's strategic focus on your only genuine area of influence. You maintain boundaries by controlling your actions, not theirs. You leave situations that don't serve you by controlling your choices, not their behavior. The second reason relationships fail is unrealistic expectations. We enter relationships expecting people to fulfill our needs perfectly, to understand us without explanation, to behave according to our internal scripts. When they inevitably fail these impossible standards, we feel betrayed. Marcus Aurelius addressed this directly in Book 2, Section 1. Begin each day by telling yourself, "Today I will meet with meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly people." This sounds pessimistic, but it's actually liberating. When you expect imperfection, you're not devastated when it arrives. When you anticipate that people will sometimes be difficult, their difficulty doesn't shatter your peace. This isn't cynicism. It's realism that protects connection. You stop taking normal human flaws as personal betrayals. You extend the grace you'd want extended to you during your own difficult moments. Seneca wrote in Letters, "It is more civilized to make fun of life than to bewail it." Applied to relationships, this means approaching others' imperfections with humor and acceptance, rather than constant disappointment. The third reason relationships fail is reactive emotional patterns. Two people react to each other in escalating cycles. One snaps, the other snaps back harder. Resentment builds. Conflicts repeat the same patterns for years. Nothing changes because no one chooses to respond differently. The Stoics understood that someone must break break these cycles consciously. In Book 6, Section 6, Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." Applied to relationships, this means not matching your partner's anger with anger, not meeting coldness with coldness, not reflecting negativity back. You choose your response independent of their behavior. This is extraordinarily difficult but transformative. When your partner attacks and you respond with calm curiosity instead of defensive counterattack, the pattern breaks, not every time, but consistently enough to change the relationship's trajectory. Now let's explore practical Stoic principles for building deeper connections. The first principle is accepting people as they are, not as you wish they were. This might be the most powerful relationship principle the Stoics offer. Epictetus taught, "Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do." Applied to people, this means releasing the project of fixing or changing others. Your partner has flaws, so do you. Your parents have limitations, so do you. When you accept people completely, not approving of everything they do, but accepting who they are, something profound shifts. They feel seen rather than judged. They relax rather than defend. Connection deepens because acceptance removes the constant pressure to perform. The second principle is focusing on your own character, not their behavior. In Book 7, Section 8 of Meditations, Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Don't waste the rest of your time here worrying about other people. It will keep you from doing anything useful." Relationship satisfaction depends more on your character than your partner's behavior. Are you patient, kind, honest, present? Do you show up as the person you want to be, regardless of how they're showing up? When you focus on being the best partner, friend, or family member you can be, relationships improve even when others don't change. Your consistent character often inspires their improvement more than any lecture or demand ever could. The third principle is practicing genuine presence. Seneca lamented how people are physically present, but mentally absent. They're thinking about work during dinner, checking phones during conversations, half listening while planning responses. The Stoics practiced prosoche, attention or vigilant awareness. Applied to relationships, this means being fully present with the person in front of you. When your partner speaks, you listen completely. When your friend shares, you're not rehearsing your story. This practice alone transforms connection. People feel when you're truly present versus when you're going through motions. Presence communicates value more than any words. The fourth principle is understanding that everyone acts according to their understanding. Marcus Aurelius repeatedly reminded himself that difficult people act from their own limited perspective and conditioning. In Book 7, Section 26, he wrote, "When people injure you, ask yourself what good or harm they thought would come of it. People don't act maliciously in their own minds. Your partner's hurtful behavior comes from their wounds, fears and limited understanding. This doesn't excuse harm, but it enables compassion. When you see the wounded human behind the difficult behavior, your responses soften. Compassion replaces contempt. Understanding replaces judgment. Relationships heal when both people feel understood rather than condemned." The fifth principle is practicing gratitude for impermanent connection. The Stoics practiced negative visualization, briefly imagining losing what they value. Applied to relationships, this means occasionally contemplating life without your partner, your parents, your friends, not morbidly dwelling, but briefly acknowledging impermanence. This practice creates profound appreciation. You stop taking presence for granted. You treasure conversations you'd normally rush through. You express love you'd normally assume is understood. Seneca wrote, "We should cherish our friends as if we might one day lose them." This awareness doesn't create anxiety. It creates depth and urgency in connection. Now let's apply these principles to common relationship scenarios. Scenario 1E. Your partner criticizes you harshly. The untrained response is defensive counterattack or wounded withdrawal. The Stoic response is pause and separation. Separate the event from your judgment about it. They said words. Your interpretation creates the pain. Ask yourself what need they might be expressing poorly. Respond to their need, not their delivery. Say something like, "I hear you're frustrated. Help me understand what you need." This disarms conflict while maintaining your dignity. Scenario 2. A friend betrays your trust. The untrained response is rage, cutting them off, or passive-aggressive punishment. The Stoic response is honest evaluation. Did they act from malice or weakness? Can the relationship survive with new boundaries? What does your character demand, revenge or resolution? Marcus Aurelius wrote in Book 9, Section 4:2, "When you run up against someone else's shamelessness, ask yourself, this is a world without shamelessness possible? No, betrayal happens. Your response defines you more than their action defines them." Scenario 3. 3. Family members disappoint you repeatedly. The untrained response is resentment, distance, or repeated conflict. The Stoic response is acceptance with boundaries. Accept who they are. Stop expecting different. Set boundaries protecting your well-being. Maintain connection possible within those boundaries. You cannot change your parents at this point. You can change how you relate to them, what you expect, and how you protect yourself while remaining loving. Scenario 4. You feel disconnected from your partner. The untrained response is blame, demands for change, or resignation. The Stoic response is internal examination first. Have you been present? Have you shown appreciation? Have you initiated connection? What can you control? Often reconnection begins with one person consistently showing up differently. Be that person. Change what you control and observe what shifts. The Stoics understood something profound about relationships that modern psychology confirms. Sustainable connection requires emotional regulation, realistic expectations, and focus on your own behavior rather than others. These principles don't make relationships easy. They make relationships possible when they'd otherwise collapse. Now I want to hear about your experience. What's your most challenging relationship right now? Without naming names, share the dynamic in the comments. Is it a partner who doesn't communicate? A parent who criticizes constantly? A friend who takes more than gives? Also share how Stoicism has already impacted your connections. Has the dichotomy of control helped you release trying to change someone? Has accepting imperfection reduced your disappointment? Your experience might provide exactly the insight another viewer needs. Here's my challenge for you. Choose one relationship to practice these principles with this week. Don't announce what you're doing, just show up differently. Practice presence in conversations. Accept their flaws without comment. Focus on your character, not their behavior. Respond rather than react when conflicts arise. After 7 days, return and share what happened. I read these comments, and your transformation story could inspire others. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Book 11, Section 18t, "How much more harmful are the consequences of anger and grief than the circumstances that aroused them in us." Applied to relationships, this means our reactions to relational challenges often cause more damage than the challenges themselves. Master your reactions, and you master your relationships. Stoicism doesn't promise perfect relationships. It promises you'll show up as the person you want to be regardless of how others behave. It promises peace independent of circumstances. It promises connection built on principle rather than fluctuating emotion. That's the foundation for relationships that last lifetimes. Subscribe for more content applying ancient wisdom to modern challenges. Every week, I explore how Stoic principles transform the areas that matter most. Your mind, your relationships, your purpose. The Stoics built meaningful connections during times of war, plague, and political chaos. Their wisdom works even better in your circumstances. Apply it today and watch your relationships transform.